I've been watching The Gifted. That new Fox series based on the X Men without any explicit X Men. It's pretty good. Uh, the Marvel show that um, wins me over slightly more at the moment is actually Inhumans, despite the fact that the X Men comics always hold a place of primacy in my heart. I don't really know why I have a vague preference for the Inhumans television show. Um, Maybe it's because of the locales. Like Inhumans, um, largely takes place on the moon and Hawaii. The Gifted is centered around Anytown, America. But whatever, it's still good in its own right. But I've been thinking about it. I was musing about the decision of the producers of The Gifted to use the Strucker name for the main family. In the Marvel Comics, upon which The Gifted is very loosely based, the Strucker name is owned by an old Nazi ally and his children, Andreas and Andrea. Like the show's Strucker kids, they're mutants. Um, but the show features no Nazis. Uh, it's it's a show that's light on X Men, but it's completely free of Nazis. Um, these televised Struckers are just basic, affluent suburbanites. But then these suburbanites turn out to have a genetic makeup that forces them into a cruel world outside their sheltered existence. And it's a world um, against which the father's profession places him in direct opposition. Unlike previous antagonists to Marvel's mutants, like the similarly named Stryker, the Strucker Patriarch uh, doesn't really seem to bear much in the way of ill will for the mutant race. Basically, he's just doing his job. Uh, but it's a job uh, that involves persecution of an underprivileged minority. Uh, Sounds vaguely familiar. Incidentally, the Strucker children of the comics did eventually realize that wallowing in their socioeconomic superiority to the detriment of the rest of the world wasn't really the way to go, and they made some attempt to get out and do some good. The show's kids do seem to be on a similar path. Um, it's just accelerated because it's a shorter walk from um, you know sheltered kid to hero than it is from uh, Nazi heir to anti-hero. I don't know. He was. I don't know. I can't remember what uh, the the finale for Andreas Strucker was. Um, but Andreas was a thunderbolt for a while, and he seemed to be on the more altruistic end of that spectrum. I mean, he stood against, you know, Norman Osborn, who was trying to take over the world through, dubious politics and insanity. Anyway, um, this show, The Gifted, it's like X Men without X Men. It also features Nazi descendants without any actual hint of Nazism. Um, but as the themes the X Men characters bring don't require a team by that name to be present, the show does a fairly elegant job of displaying the deleterious effect of a chauvinist worldview in the absence of any organization that explicitly espouses it. Basically, we get to see X-Men fight Hydra on television without a whole mess of rights issues.